Adrielle shares her stood up weekend story, but the details are giving more comedy than sympathy.
Stood up by a guy, a really cute guy. Guys don't approach me very often, so I thought I could count on this thing, and this is how stood up I was. I was so stood up that I didn't even know I was being stood up. It wasn't until I ran into a guy and we were chatting, I described what I was going through, and he said to me, "Oh, so he stood you up." And I'm like, that's exactly what it was. I've never been stood up in my life. I'm 34 years old. I went out, I was having drinks, a really good time, enjoying the music. A guy approached me and said, "I'm really beautiful, I have really good energy." We started talking for like maybe 20 minutes. I left to go get another drink, come back. He asked where else I'm going to that night. He said he's going to be leaving soon and he wants to continue getting to know me. And I suggested a few places. He suggested a few places and he said, "Okay, I'm going to meet you here in 1 hour." So I decided to go there. I'm not going to say where there is, but it was like a lounge basically where I could get drinks and listen to music. And so I'm like, okay. And I get in my Uber and I leave. And I get to the place, an hour goes by and he still hadn't showed up. Another hour goes by, he still had not showed up. At that point, I'm just like chatting with people, making new friends. And I actually ran into someone later in the night. It was like, at this point, a little after 1 a.m. This place closes at 2 a.m. And I'm like just debating back and forth whether or not I should stay or go. And so this guy, I explained to him what's happening. And he says, "Oh, so the guy stood you up." And I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's what that is. I got stood up. I'm having a revelation in my mind because I've never been stood up before. It was the worst feeling ever, guys. I highly do not recommend. I do not recommend to get stood up. It's horrible. You just sit there waiting, and they never show up, and you just feel awful because you got so excited. You thought it was going to be fun, and they don't show up. It's horrible.
So Adrielle is back with yet another story time, and this time she's giving us a whole saga about how she got stood up. And let me tell you, she really dragged this story out longer than the actual waiting she did at that bar. She starts by saying guys don't usually approach her, which honestly, I can see why, but then claims this one guy was really into her, telling her how beautiful she is, how much good energy she has. But girl, if his energy was matching yours, why did he vanish faster than a free sample at Costco? So, anyway, she's bragging about her looks, her vibe, her age, 34, and never been stood up before. And then she's out here sitting at a lounge waiting for this man like she's auditioning for a Lifetime movie. 1 hour goes by, nothing. Another hour goes by, still nothing. And sis stayed there, drinking, chatting with strangers, convincing herself he was going to show up any minute. Arst. Like Adrielle, this wasn't a wedding proposal. This man was not on his way to sweep you off your feet in a tuxedo. He was probably already home, feet up, watching Netflix, while you were sitting there doing unpaid promo for the lounge. And the way she tries to spin it, saying she made new friends, had good energy, blah, blah, blah. No, ma'am. You got played, you got stood up. End of story. It happens. But the way she dramatized it like it was some great revelation, some movie plot. Twist. Girl, all I'm hearing is that he saw through you quicker than we did. And honestly, why wait hours? If a guy tells me he's meeting me in 1 hour and he doesn't show, I'm out. Minimum 20 minutes, maybe 30, tops. Adrielle sat there until closing, time thinking Prince Charming was gonna walk in the door. Spoiler alert, he didn't. Be real? Would you have waited around like Adrielle did? Do you think this guy ever had any intention of showing up? Was she stood up, or did she just get finessed by smooth talk and false promises? Have you ever been in a situation where you realized halfway through the night you were wasting your time? Do you believe her story, or is this just Adrielle fishing for sympathy? Again, so what do you guys think about this? Comment below, #let_s chat.